Hi friends, welcome to my YouTube channel SS Analysis. First of all, I would like to tell you that if you are watching this video first time, watch this video till its end to understand this thoroughly to take your decision. Your one like will motivate me to be regular in working more hard for you. Today I am going to analyze the impact of Chinese growth data over the movement of different base metals and find a little suspicious about the immediate impact of Chinese growth data over the movements of different base metals. Will this Chinese growth stimulate base metals amid growing suspicion? Chinese economy grew at a steady 6.4% pace in the first quarter, defying expansion for a further slowdown as industrial production jumped sharply and consumer demand showed signs of improvement. The upbeat readings, which included faster investment growth, come as Beijing and Washington appears to be near a trade deal. Investors have ranked China's slowdown and the trade war as the biggest risk facing the faltering global economy. But I find it too early to call a sustainable turnaround in China, and further policy support is needed to maintain momentum in the world's second largest economy. Beijing has hampered up fiscal stimulus this year to shore up growth, announcing billions of dollars in additional tax cuts and infrastructure spending. While Chinese banks lent a record 5.8 trillion yuan in the first quarter, more evidences are still needed to confirm this as a full-fledged recovery. My view for the economy is still cautious because the stronger than expected data is somewhat linked to the stimulus. With China-US negotiation in the background, economic data on US trade figures will deserve attention when we will see it at 8:30 a.m. Today. On average, economists expect that the US trade deficit widened to $53.5 billion in February. Therefore, I find that a sudden steep upward move in different base metals look to indicate some suspicion on the further upward move, but I find that the technical indicators are evident enough for going indecisiveness ahead in base metals. No doubt that the copper looks to be very steady at the current prices because the 20 days exponential moving average has come above the 20 days moving average, but the current position of 50 days exponential moving average, which is below the 50 days moving average, indicate the going indecisiveness in copper futures. Friends, this is a daily chart of copper futures. Here I would like to mention that the current position of 20 days exponential moving average, which is currently above the 20 days moving average, which indicate the continuity of an upward move in copper futures in short term. But on the other hand, the current position of 50 days exponential moving average, which is below the 50 days moving average, indicate the long term is still not very clear, because I find that the copper futures will find some resistance at the level of $3.065, because I find that the copper futures will find the immediate resistance at the level of $3.026. No doubt that a sustainable move above this level will attract more copper bulls to move more upward up to the level of $3.054. But if we find some more positive developments on the trade war front, copper futures will try to move towards the level of $3.156 during the upcoming weeks. But on the lower side, I find that a downward move below the 20 days exponential moving average, which is currently at the level of $2.915. On the other side, I find that in short term, copper futures will find their immediate support at the level of $2.917, where the 20 days exponential moving average will provide sufficient support to copper futures, and second support levels will be 50 days exponential moving average, which is currently at the level of $2.883, where we will see the copper futures will find a good support in case of a downward move. No doubt that in a daily chart that the copper futures have already formed a golden cross. Here you can see that all the moving averages have come above the 200 days moving average in the month of February 2019. Here we can see that all the moving averages have crossed 200 days moving average, which has resulted in the formation of a golden cross in copper futures, which will keep the uptrend of copper futures intact during the upcoming week. And I find that a sustainable move above the level of $3 will result in sharp upward moves in copper futures. Now let us see the current position of zinc futures in a daily chart. Here I would like to emphasize on the formation of a golden cross in a daily chart in the month of February 2019, when all the moving averages have crossed the 200 days moving average and formed a golden cross, which indicate the strength of zinc futures. And I find that currently the zinc futures have found a good support at 50 days exponential moving average and looks ready to move upward, but they will have to sustain above the level of $2.878 for moving more upward, because the current position of 20 days exponential moving average, which is below the 20 days moving average, indicating some bearish pressure in zinc futures, which has resulted in sharp downward move on April 16th. But today the announcement of positive growth data in China, but I find that the announcement of strong economic data of China has provided a good support to zinc futures in a daily chart, which has resulted in formation of this green candle, where I find that a sustainable move above the level of $2.847 will result in a sharp upward move in zinc futures. Let us see this chart in an hourly time frame. Here you can see that currently that after touching the lows of $2.805, zinc futures have started to move upward with strong Chinese data. Here you can see that the 20 days exponential moving average has come above the 20 days moving average, and both of them are trying to turn upward, and find that a sustainable move above the level of $2.845 within the next few hours will indicate a sharp upward move up to the levels of $2.920 in a short while. But we will have to be very cautious at the current movements in an hourly chart in zinc futures. Now let us examine the current position of nickel futures in a daily chart. Here the situation is same. In a daily chart we can see the formation of a golden cross in a daily chart in nickel futures in the month of March, which indicates the strength of nickel futures during the upcoming weeks. No doubt that the nickel futures are facing stiff resistance at the level of $13342. Once the nickel futures find a sustainable move in a daily chart above this level, we will see the nickel futures to maintain an uptrend during the upcoming weeks. But here you can see that the current position of 20 days exponential moving average, which is below the 20 days moving average, indicating some bearish pressure in short term in nickel futures. And secondly, and the 50 days exponential moving average is below the 50 days moving average, which is also indicating the continuity of some bearish pressure in nickel futures in long term, because the nickel futures, in case of an upward move, the nickel futures will have to cross the levels of $13352 in short term to maintain an uptrend, as we have seen a sharp recovery with supportive Chinese data today. And second, the formation of a golden cross, which may keep the uptrend intact in nickel futures. So I find that the nickel futures will have to take a decisive action within next 2 weeks to make a sustainable move above the level of $13400, when we find some strength in nickel futures, which will confirm the continuity of an uptrend in nickel futures. Let us see this chart in a 4-hour time frame. So here you can see that the nickel futures are facing stiff resistance at 200 days moving average, because they have come below the 200 days moving average in a 4-hour chart. But you can see that the current position of 20 days exponential moving average, which is currently above the 20 days moving average, and the nickel futures are trading above the 20 days exponential moving average, which indicates the continuation of an upward move, where the nickel bulls will try to cross the 200 days moving average within next few trading session. If we find the nickel futures to make a sustainable move above the 200 days moving average, we will see the nickel futures to test the immediate resistance at the level of the 13350 before moving more upward. So friends, be ready to see an action in base metal amid the recent developments. If we find some more positive news at the front of tariff trade war between the US and China, we will see the base metals to move more upward during the upcoming days. So friends, thank you. Thanks for watching this video. If you like this video, don't forget to share this video with your more and more friends. Thank you.